When it comes to guitar amplifiers, the general consensus is that bigger is better. And the main amp I use on this channel is this Fender Deluxe Reverb because it sounds great clean and it takes pedals like a deluxe reverb. However, there is a whole world of beautiful saturated tones that sit at the top end of the volume of this amp that I don't get to experience because it would be far too loud. So you can probably guess that I'm extremely excited about playing this Black Tweed Plus from Volta Custom. It's a double overdrive pedal that gives you not only the sounds of a cranked blackface Fender, but also the sounds of a cranked tweed Fender, but without the need for earplugs. I love the sound of a cranked Fender Champ amp. That's fun to say. If you haven't ever played through a small Fender Tweed amp, you owe it to yourself to one day plug into one and just turn everything up and see what happens. However, until you get that opportunity, you could use your existing amp with this pedal. I'll go into the features and show you how to use the pedal in just a moment, but I want to show you some sounds. So it's time for my top 5 tones. I'm going to play 3 different guitars, P90 humbuckers and single coils through the Fender Deluxe Reverb. Up first is the clean tone. On the left side are the blackface controls. On the right side are the tweed controls. We've got in, out, 9-volt power. This foot switch will turn the pedal on, and you're currently in blackface mode. And then this will switch you over to tweed and back to blackface. Back to blackface. Right, blackface volume and tweed volume, so 2 independent volumes for the 2 overdrives. And then the crank knobs are kind of like a gain, sort of saturation. So this is the cleanest over here, and then that's the most saturated, most distorted over to the right. Then finally in the middle are these 2 switches. We've got stock mode, which makes the side of the amp behave as you'd expect the amp to behave. And then mids will push the mids of that amp and add a bit more gain. In raw mode, you have a fixed EQ. So these red knobs do nothing when you're in raw mode. And then you also have more saturation. So this is the rawest, the most rock and roll setting of the pedal. So let's run through the tweed side first. I don't know why tweed first, I just fancied doing it. This is the Custom Core H150 from Heritage, and I'm going to play some Neil Young to start with. So tweed mode, and then kicking the pedal in. We're in stock mode. I'll set this flat, and then I'll crank that tweedy thing and mess with the switches just to see what kind of range we get. So this clean tone first. So it starts off hairy, but not thick and fuzzy. Let's bring that up. Let's lay down a loop. Okay, so in the raw mode, this EQ does nothing, but it's not getting quite to that big blown out tweed that I was hoping for. So it doesn't quite reach maximum Neil Young fuzz that I was really hoping for, but it does sound great. It's more than an overdrive. It's really small amp fuzzy. There's also not a lot of bass in that tone, so I really cranked the bass up at certain points, and I wasn't feeling that I was getting big and woofy. It still sounds Fender-ish-y, but really fuzzy Fender-y. Let's go over to the blackface mode. So we're on the blackface mode, sorry. Let's set that to the middle bit. And then, yeah, let's keep the volume about the same. Bring the crank down, stock mode. Okay, so clean again. So already there's a little bit of hair. Let's lay something down. I think I prefer that to the tweed side. Like, I consider the tweed to have more character. In my mind, a tweed has more character than a blackface. A blackface is more clean. That's why I'm using one behind that little amp pedal that's cut out on the screen. But there's bass, there's fullness. So that sounds like a big amp. Whereas, like, if I go from the same EQ, let's put it on mids, and let's go for about 3/4 crank. If I switch between the two amps, you get so much more bass out of the blackface. Tweed sounds smaller, which it should. That's good. Let's see if I can get that Neil Young from the blackface, surprisingly. Okay, not quite, but it's getting there. It's getting close. What's weird about this is that, especially when I did the top 5 tones, the feel of this thing feels like I'm playing through a cranked amp. It really feels like I'm pushing a Fender over the edge of where it wants to be. So really getting dirty and distorted. However, it wasn't feeding back. So where I was expecting it to, like, playing a note like this, yeah, so it did start to feed back then because I'm a little bit louder. But on the top 5 tones, there was some stuff I did with the Telecaster that didn't feed back. And that was really weird for me because it felt like my brain was telling me you're playing through a Fender that's overloaded, yet it's quiet. So, and also when I did the top 5 tones, I had an amazing time and I really, really enjoyed it. And that doesn't always happen with pedals. Sometimes I'm looking for 5 tones. This time I was just like, what guitar can I play next? And honestly, I edited out a lot of the stuff for brevity's sake. Yeah, and I'm gonna have to play some more. Okay, well, final review of this is that, firstly, it's handmade in Italy by Salvatore from Volta Custom, and I've played a few of his pedals. I've played the Fire Dirt, I played the 1987, and I played the Blue as well when I was in Italy. And this one was the one that stood out to me, honestly, the least at first. And the Fire Dirt was where I was all at, 'cause it's a fuzz pedal. But this one, this has tones that I heard blackface pedal, yeah, okay, tweed pedal, okay. But this one really does feel, and I don't know if that's going to come across and I don't know if it's going to be audible to you, but the feel I'm getting from, you know, the relationship between me, the pedal, the guitar, and the amp and everything, I feel like I'm playing through a Fender amp that is turned up too loud, but at quieter volumes. And that is manageable volume, and I'm getting these big, throaty, meaty, nasty tones. Combine that with some kind of feedbacker pedal, such as the Digitech, what's it called? I can't remember, the feedbacker from Digitech. I'll put it on screen now. That, and you've got something super interesting. So I think you should all be checking out this in the link below in the video description, because if you're looking for anything a little bit different, a kind of overdrive, fuzz, that kind of almost does distortion as well, this should definitely be on your list. There are more videos there if you need to check out more of these kind of sounds, and there's a subscription button you can press. It's absolutely free, and you can join the Guitar Geek family. I'll welcome you with open arms. Until then, see you in the next one. Bye-bye!